Doing a pull-up, running the fastest time you've ever had on a 5K, and becoming fluent in a foreign language. Do any of these goals sound appealing to you? For me, these are my current big goals I'm chasing right now, and I wanted to share them because if they also feel kind of mammoth to you as well, maybe you'd like to join the journey and we can try to do this together. And if these sound really easy to you, maybe you can give us tips in the comments below and let us know what might I have missed. I've been doing a lot of research into how to make these things achievable for me and how to make them hopefully achievable to anyone who's watching. I've even started compiling printable resources in the comments or in the section below if you're watching this on YouTube. And yeah, I'm really excited to share what I've learned and share this journey with you as I begin this. So let's tackle all these things, first starting with the PR. So for me, personal record would be breaking 30 minutes for a 5K. I'm not naturally super fast at running. I have to work really hard, but I do want this year to be the fastest year yet, where I run the absolute fastest I ever have. So I'm really excited to dive into how to do this. As I was doing a lot of research, I learned that although runners get into running because often they like running, surprise, surprise, the actual way to get faster is to back it up and start with strength training. I've done some strength training with running in the past before, just because I had to do it in order to keep my joints working the way they should be. But now I've been trying to back up a little bit and I want to start with a serious weights program going forward and really get a lot stronger so that when I start running again, hopefully in the spring, I'll have a lot stronger of a base. I'll have more explosive power. And so it feels a little funny to be training for a 5K and not be running at this point. And a part of that is because it's just really, really cold outside and slippery. And yeah, not feeling like doing that right now. But a huge part of it is I do want to really build a base so that I'm not going to get injured when I start hitting those speed training and things like that. So that's the first part. I have this sheet that I have this level up strength phase one worksheet for anyone who also wants to try to do weights. My goal is 3 times a week. And if anyone has any, I'm trying to compile, I guess, workouts that or do weights that are specific, yeah, for the goals for building the muscles that I have, but there's lots of great ones out there. Let's talk about oh, and I am going to keep doing cardio, by the way. I'm doing trying my goal for the next 4 weeks is to do weights 3 times a week and cardio 3 times a week. And for cardio, I'm saying it just has to be 5 minutes or more of whatever it is that I feel like doing that day, not putting too much pressure on myself to go really hard on the cardio when it's going to be really intense for me to even build the weights up that much, the 3 times a week. So that's the plan. On to the pull-up section of the plan. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those YouTube videos that are like, you can get a pull-up in 21 days, guaranteed, or, do this program for 3 weeks and you'll have it. Um, whatever it is. I'm the poor kid that has tried those repeatedly and gotten injured every time and not gotten the pull-up that was guaranteed after those weeks. So I've tried different YouTube videos. I've tried different fitness programs. I've been very, very excited every time, and I want to go really hard and try to get that pull up. And unfortunately, I end up pulling something and it hurts and it impacts the rest of, everything else in my life since back pain and stuff isn't pleasant. So I guess one thing that I really wanted to start with this time around is actually just spend a solid month building back strength before I even try to do the pull-up motion and really giving my body that time it needs to adapt and to build the muscle that it needs in order to do that motion without getting injured. And so there are two things that I'm going to do. One of the things is kind of doing the exercises that build your core, but your back. So things like doggy pointers, if you've done those, or Supermans, things like this are things that I'm going to incorporate into that weights routine that I'm doing anyways for my 5K training. So that's one piece of things. The other piece of things is when I was talking with my chiropractor about this, he was saying I have to build the correct posture and make sure I'm really targeting or really using the right muscles when I'm doing a pull-up. So so basically get practicing pinching kind of my muscles together in the back and then pushing my shoulders down and kind of getting used to that, even that motion without any kind of weight at all. So not being on a bar, but just doing the motion itself. So I started with just doing that, just kind of getting my body used to the actual that movement before I added weights to it, the weight of me to it. And then I would start hanging on the bar a little bit and then doing that same motion. So for the next 4 weeks, my goal is to just practice doing body weight shrugs. So I'm hanging on the bar, I'm pinching the muscles on my back together and then pushing them down. I'm not pulling up at all at this point. I'm just working my back and just trying to get it stronger and trying to see if that will build a really good base. So when I do start doing pull-ups with bands or things like that to try to get towards that pull-up motion all on my own, I won't pull anything because the back is really used to doing it the correct way and also has the strength to do it. So I've printed out for myself and for anyone who's interested, this a 14-day shrug challenge. So my thoughts are for the next 4 weeks, kind of doing it just every so often going onto my pull-up bar and just doing these shrugs and making sure that I'm not overtraining it, but also not just starting from scratch and just trying to do that pull-up motion. So that's the pull-up part of the journey. And finally, let's talk about the language piece of things. I could talk all day about language learning, the resources that I've looked at. I've spent so much time looking at resources for so many different languages. I love this. If you'd be interested in hearing a video about anything like this, let me know, drop a comment. But for now, I want to kind of focus on four different elements and try to really get fluent. The language I'm trying to get fluent in currently is Korean. When I lived in Korea, I studied really hard and I actually passed the first level of fluency, which I was thrilled about. And so were all my co-teachers. It was a really exciting moment. And I worked really hard to get up to that point. And then when I came back to America, it was really hard to find people to practice with. My Korean started sliding backwards. And actually, I would try to study really hard and I'd get stressed and I'd actually start forgetting words. And it wasn't a good situation. So now my goal is to have fun and to be be studying in a very well balanced way and try to hopefully hit not just the first level of Korean fluency again, but actually the second level. That'd be crazy. I feel like at that point, I'd be able to get into a university, if I got a really good score or something like that. So, not that I'm trying to go study in a Korean university at this point, but it'd be really, really exciting to hit that milestone and to just be fully, fully fluent in a language would be incredible. So, my goals are to have a well-balanced approach to this, like I said, and focus on reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So having all of those components together and I'm going to shoot for an hour a day. I feel like anytime I go more than that, I start getting stressed and tired. But less than that, it's really hard to hit high levels of fluency for me without that level of practice and repetition and such. So I'm going to see how this works. So my thoughts are to break it into kind of 15-minute chunks for each of those things, but I'm okay if it's a little bit flexible. So for the 15 minutes of reading, my plan is to read a book. It's actually for Korean language learners, and it's called Korean Folk Tales. So it has the Korean and then the English, and it has some questions. So it's very much geared for language learners. Hopefully, going to be a little bit easier and a good way to ease into things. For the listening part of things, I'm using talktomeinkorean.com, which if you are at all interested in Korean language learning, you have probably heard, not just heard of it, but heard the little sound that they play at the beginning of all their podcasts, which is iconic. And they used to be free. Now you do have to pay for their courses, which is unfortunate, but they're a really good resource. And I'm really excited to try that for the next 4 weeks and see how fast that helps me progress. That helped me a lot before I moved to Korea. And so that's the resource I'm going back to as well to see how it goes this time around. For the writing portion, I like to just write whatever sentences I can write to the best of my ability, kind of like journal style, just talk about what I've been doing or playing with the sentence structure that I've learned. So nothing too formal. I think the first 4 weeks of language learning, I could see in the future working on more essays or things like that as I try to get more advanced. But for now, it's just really simple journal entries. And, the sentences might not be crazy or complex yet, but just setting a really good base of that comfort, especially since Korean has a different alphabet. Just getting practice again of creating all of the characters and such will be really helpful, I think. Oh, and then speaking, I'm using italki. So if you've studied a foreign language, italki is a really useful resource for any foreign language, where you're able to meet with a tutor from that country who speaks that language natively, meet with them online and just chat, chat. There's different tutors. So you could ask, well, just have a conversation with one. You can have certain lessons. They'll sometimes, I think they even look at papers, will grade papers for you. So there's a whole variety of resources on italki. I've done it before and it was incredible. It definitely, speaking definitely pushes you to learn the language a lot faster. It can use a lot of brain energy and brain power, but it's really, really fun connecting with other people. So I'm excited, and it's pretty affordable, even though it's one-on-one tutoring, which tends to get really expensive. They have quite the range. So you could be meeting with, they call them community teachers, people who aren't like certified or anything. They're just there to have conversations with you. Or you can meet with high-end certified, professional teachers, and they tend to cost, their classes tend to cost a little bit more. And yeah, either way, you're having a really good opportunity to speak in the language that you're practicing. So that's my plan for Korean. And I have this worksheet that I printed out, just kind of the different categories and then tracking that I do them each day. So yeah, those are the three goals. I'm really excited to share these goals just because, um, one, I think it's going to be really fun for me, like going through the journey, using everything that I've learned and applying that in and taking action on that. I hope other people have these same goals as well. And yeah, thanks so much for watching today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.